What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's filthiest pitches of the day. I am Pitching Ninja, and I'm here with Will Leahey, who is sporting a Marlins hat.
Cabrera pitched a jam yesterday, Ninja. You know, I gotta represent when I can. I lived in Miami for a couple of years, and I used to go to games all the time because there literally nobody was there. So I just get front row tickets for about $10 and endless hot dogs. It was a good deal.
Cabrera is one of the more frustrating pitchers to watch because his stuff is as elite as it comes, and then he has these little parts where he kind of falters and ends up giving up like 4 runs. He racks up a lot of Ks, though.
Yeah, he can be quite frustrating.
But really good stuff. I like him. Well, let's start with the whip around the league. We're going to start with Ben Brown, who had 5 Ks and 4 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs. At this 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and this one at the knees, it gave him a bad case of K. Strutus interruptus, as this is called a ball. Ouch. He also had these filthy knuckle curves, and he throws a really high velo knuckle curve. He needs a nickname, though. Ben Brown's kind of a boring name to me.
Sounds like a character from Clue.
I mean, maybe he could be like, I don't know, Encyclopedia Brown? Is that a good name? No, he's probably not. He's Encyclopedia Brown for today. Sorry. He faced Adrian Hauser, who does have a nickname, and it was Pukey Hauser because he's known for puking on the baseball field. That's true, and I gave him that nickname. I'm sorry, Adrian.
Well, and also for the youngins out there, Doogie Howser was the a TV show, Child Phenom Doctor, so it rhymes a little. It's not just out there.
Adrian Hauser had 2 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 4 runs. He had this painted 2-seamer.
Ninja, also, did you see PCA's absolute hot dog slide in this game?
Yeah, what is up with that? I don't think you can do this.
Judging by the internet comments, everybody thinks you can't. It appears that you can. It's, I guess, an extension, but I like the slide here, Ninja. It's pretty smooth. Again, complete hot dog move. But when you're an absolute young stud and you're not playing too well, you got to do something to get the crowd moving.
But like, where does it stop? What could you use as an extension of your arm? Could you be like Inspector Gadget?
It would be useful if you signed Gadget on your squad. But it goes back to Aaron Judge with his 3-foot-long mitt he had on the other day to block the ball when he was sliding into second.
I'm thinking pitchers need to do something to extend their release point towards home plate. We'll come up with something. The extendo arm.
And then we sell and then we get rich, Ninja.
Kyle Harrison had 7 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 1 run on 3 hits. This game was all about Harrison's fastballs. He threw 66% fastballs and picked up 10 whiffs on his fastball. He faced Josh Winkowski, who had no Ks, so sorry, Josh, no highlights for you. I'm sorry, Will. That's just the rules.
He pitched decent, though. Another Sox starter just kind of getting it done, even though they lost the game.
Well, I mean, his name's Winkowski. It's better than Lose-Kowski or Walk Everybody Kowski.
It absolutely is better than Walk Everybody Kowski.
Spencer Arrighetti had 6 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs. He had these cutters and curveballs. And I love this sequence from Arrighetti where he throws this cutter just off the plate that's a called strike. And then he follows it up with a fastball that looks like it's outside that cutter. So as a hitter, you're like, he's trying to get me to fish for a cutter that's going to be even further outside. And instead, it's a fastball right down the middle. And this shows you why you might take a fastball down the middle. Everybody's going to scream at you, why did you take that? Well, this is probably why. He faced Logan Allen, who had 5 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, giving up 2 earned runs, and had this changeup and sweepers. Kyle Bradish is back. Thank God. I love watching this guy pitch. He's electric. He had 5 Ks in 4 2/3 innings, giving up 1 run. He had these 2-seamers, including this painted 2-seamer. I know when you see this pitch, people scream, ball, it's a ball. Well, on the broadcasts, a solid dot means it caught the robo-zone. So if you see a solid dot, that's a strike. If you see an open circle, like this pitch here, that means it's a ball. So when you're watching and screaming at the TV, keep that in mind. And also, usually the broadcast catches it at the front of the plate. So a 2-seamer that's running back to the plate actually caught a little more of the plate than it appears to with this dot. So just a little ninja tip when you're watching games so you can scream at your friends. He also had these sliders, and his slider is really good. Here's an overlay of his 2-seamer and slider, and you can see how those pitches switch places on the way to the plate. Filthy stuff from Bradish. He faced Carlos Rodon, who had 6 Ks in 4 innings, but gave up 8 hits and 6 earned runs. I really thought Rodon pitched better than this. He had his fastballs up to 99 miles an hour. He had wicked sliders and picked up a sword on his slider. including this wicked back leg slider. I mean, look how filthy this is. And yet he still gave up 6 earned runs this game. Here's an overlay of his fastball and slider, and you can see when he's going right why that's so tough to hit. Rodon did have a tough game, but the stuff is there. And expect him to be good over the long run. Nate Eovaldi was really good yesterday with 8 strikeouts and 5 1/3 scoreless innings, giving up 2 hits. These fastballs, cutters, and splitters, and picked up 7 whiffs on his splitter. He faced Mitchell Parker, who had 5 Ks in 5 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs, and had this painted curveball and a splitter too. And I thought watching games this year, you see the rise of a splitter. And I thought I'd just go over real quick why a splitter is so deadly. Actually, instead of me lecturing about it, let's hear it from Roger Clemens about what hitters see when a splitter comes out of your hand. And I'll let Clemens describe his splitter grip, which is an all-time great pitch.
The split is basically what a lot of the guys are doing now, Rob. They're some of the foreign players. They take their middle finger and they hook a seam, either this side or they use their pointer and they hook a seam. And the problem with that is that when it comes out talking to different hitters from facing guys that throw this, it kind of not like a knuckleball, but it's got a different spin, and they're able to hit. The big league hitters are so good; they're able to. That's what they're looking for. On your slider, you got the little dime-looking dot, and this here kind of comes out like a knuckleball, so they're able to lay off of it unless it's up, unless they're looking up. Mine was I would just basically split it. It's not a fork ball, so there's a little gap right there in the back of my fingers. So it's not a fork ball.
And 2-seam grip, I'm saying.
So it's a little gap there. And the other key thing is my thumb. Thumb underneath, it pretty much goes down. I sneak my thumb up to the side a little bit. It makes it go away from a left-hander. And it was a great pitch because you're seeing fat wrists come at you. So you're thinking you're getting 95 and you're getting 85. I did a thing with the Mythbuster guys a long time ago, and they did me in super, super slow motion to see if the ball came out tumbling or had backspin on it. And so it tumbles. And again, just a great pitch. I think in a 120 pitch game, which again, you might choke on your water when I say that, 120 pitches. Well, guys are throwing 120 pitches. They're just doing it in 4 innings. So the split, what came about when ESPN came around and really showing so many highlights, other hitters on other teams that we're going to be facing within the week, they would see 7, 8 strikeouts on that split. So it became ingrained in their mind. 120 pitch game, I might throw 20 of them, in crucial situations. There might be guys like, I think I remember one time George Brett screaming at me because I threw him like 5 straight splits because he's that good. And I'm just not going to give in to him with a man on third base when the situation presented it.
Peter Lambert had 3 Ks in 3 1/3 innings, giving up 4 runs. He had these changeups, which were dirty. And he faced yesterday's filthiest starting pitcher of the day, Edward Cabrera. Cabrera had 9 Ks in 4 innings, giving up 4 runs. Again, a tale of 2 different Cabreras. His stuff is disgusting. He had this fastball at the knees, painted with this fastball. He had these sliders and curveballs, and man, they are filthy. And then these turbo changeups. There is nobody in baseball that throws changeups at 94 miles an hour or higher more than Edward Cabrera. And these aren't just like your average changeups. Look at the movement of these things. They totally disappear. Tons of run on them. Filthy, filthy stuff by Cabrera.
A Tale of Two Cabreras. Is that Dickens?
Yes, it is Dickens. It was the best of Cabreras. It was the worst of Cabreras. And so he gave up, and this is an interesting point, he gave up a home run to Stallings, who used to catch him. And there is a slight advantage that a catcher has facing his former pitcher. Kind of knows what to expect and has seen those releases over and over again. So he's able to pick it up a tiny bit better. Now to my filthiest relievers. Anthony Bender had this wicked bender.
There he is.
A sweeper. Pedro Avila had this changeup and front door 2-seamer. Cionel Perez had these curveballs. Cue the trumpets. Edwin Diaz had these nasty sliders. Jake Diekman had these fastballs. Camilo Doval had this slider. Andrew Nardi had these fastballs, and Hector Neris had this fastball. My top 5 filthiest pitches from yesterday, I'm going to give it a tie at number 5 between Nate Eovaldi's splitters, as well as Naoyuki Iwasawa's splitter here, which is his first major league strikeout. God bless him. At number 4, I have Kyle Bradish's overlay of his slider and two-seamer. At number 3, Carlos Rodon's slider. I know he didn't have a great game, but it's still filthy. At number 2, I have Justin Lawrence with this insane sinker right here. Look at that, as well as this wicked sweeper. The man, when he's on, is absolutely filthy. And at number 1, I'm going to give it to Edward Cabrera's turbo changeups. 94-mile-an-hour changeups shouldn't be a thing, but here they are. And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. Shota Imanaga is just an absolute gem, and I love this interview on MLB Network. Hilarious dude.
What has been the maybe most surprising thing about life in America off the field in your short time here in the USA?
赤信号でも右折していいところがあるっていうのがびっくりしました。
I think the biggest surprise for me has been that even on a red light that I could take it right.
My picks of the day today are a 4-leg same-game parlay plus. I'm going to start out with Aaron Nola for 6 Ks or more and Jordan Hicks for 5 Ks or more, and then add in George Kirby for 5 Ks or more and Sonny Gray for 5 Ks or more. And best of all, there's a 30% Pitching Ninja Profit Boost token that you can use on any same-game parlay or same-game parlay plus of 3 legs or more. What would your picks of the day be?